do not, I repeat, do not sign on with an advisor until you've asked them the following 7 questions. It's as important for clients to ask their advisor questions because it's important for clients to trust and decide that this is a good advisor for them. My name is JF Bernard. My goal is to help you achieve your financial goals and also to explain complex financial terms so you can better understand and sleep better at night. When I meet a client for the first time, the thing I do obviously is I ask them a lot of questions because I'm trying to learn as much as I can about them and their situation so I can give them the best possible advice. The question I ask them that always throws them off is, do you have any questions for me? Usually they're surprised, they're not sure what to say. They're saying, well, you should be asking me questions, right? I want to give you 7 basic questions that you can ask an advisor when you meet them for the first time to help determine whether that advisor is the right person that you can trust with your financial security. Question 1, ask the advisor how they are paid. Advisors provide a service for money. There shouldn't be anything awkward or taboo about that. That's how I earn a living. But you can ask an advisor how they get paid because there are different ways an advisor will get paid. Some of them are salaried employee. Some of them get commission every time they sell or buy an investment for their clients. Other advisors work on a fee structure where they provide services year-round and collect a monthly fee based on the client's asset that's invested with them. I work with a mixture of commission and fees depending on the level of service that my clients want. It's very important to me that their client know that structure very clearly before we decide that we're going to work together because the whole relationship is based on trust, so everything should be laid out transparently. So ask an advisor, how are they paid? And what other fees might be tied into their services, either administrative fees or performance fees of whatever investment vehicles that they use. The answer itself doesn't matter as much as whether they can just be forthcoming and transparent about how they are paid. Again, there's nothing wrong about getting paid for a service, but it needs to be clearly explained to the client. Question 2, ask your advisor about what their investment philosophy is. As an advisor, I have to take my client's best interests at heart in everything I do. And that's partly trying to align my beliefs about investment, about economy, with their goals. So ask your advisor, what kind of investor are they? Are they more on the active side, the passive side? Do they believe in free market? Do they believe in ETFs versus funds? Again, it doesn't matter really what precise answers are, but you want to see that there is a clear method between what they tell you and what they do as an advisor. In other words, you want your advisor to have convictions about investing, to be able to properly tailor those convictions to your situation. Question 3, ask your advisor about their credentials. There are several licenses and permits that will allow somebody to be a financial advisor and trade investments on your behalf. Somebody can be a financial advisor, they could be a financial planner, they could be a financial security advisor, they could be a mutual funds dealer. Those are all legit licenses, but they do come with different regulations or restrictions. So you want to be sure that the person in front of you telling you that they can take care of your investments can actually benefit your precise situation. Another thing to look for is their credentials should be somewhere displayed in their office. Right? That's not just a boast of where you went to school, that's a regulation that clearly shows that you're a licensed investment dealer. Question 4, ask your advisor about planning. You should ask the person what kind of plans they can do for you and are prepared to do at no extra cost. Planning is the essence of what a financial advisor does because it's not just about getting a good month's worth return or even a good year return on the stock market. Getting your client to achieve their financial goal takes planning. So ask the person, can we do a financial plan, a retirement plan, a budget, a monthly budget for my son who's going to university, a plan to buy a house in 5 years, a plan to buy a rental property in 10 years. The more planning options your advisor can readily give you without extra cost or hassle, then the more that person has your best interests at heart. Planning is the road to financial security. Let me say that again. Planning is the road to financial security. Question 5, ask your advisor hypothetical questions. What I call the 1,000, 100,000 question. You basically say to them, if I had $1 to invest, where should I put it? If I had $1,000 to invest, what should I do with it? If I had $100,000, how should I invest it? Sounds silly, maybe, but it's interesting to see what kind of answers an advisor would give you. You can also go the lottery route and say, if I had $100 million to invest, what would you do with it? They're hypothetical questions, sure, but the point is an advisor should have an investment strategy for you no matter how much you're investing with them. Whether it's $1 or $100 million, there needs to be a plan that benefits you. So don't be afraid to play silly little games with your advisor in that meeting, because those answers to the hypothetical game can actually tell you a lot about whether that person has your best interests at heart. Question 6. Ask your advisor about rules, processes, and regulations. Are there locked-in periods when you sign? If you ever want to leave because you're dissatisfied, are there penalties? Do you have a limit on the amount of meetings you can get every year? Do you get the first meeting with an advisor, but then we'll deal with a junior advisor afterwards, or an assistant, right? These are all good questions that will give you a sense of what your relationship with this advisor will look like. An advisor can't be available to you 24/7, but they should be able to answer your questions when they come up, not just on a set schedule that limits you to one meeting a year. So ask a lot of questions about the daily business of this advisor. How do they run their business? How available are they for clients? Do they take a lot of vacations? Does anybody replace them when they take vacations, right? You can even ask them the very serious question. If they suddenly pass away, who takes care of their clients? Are there processes in place should that advisor become sick or invalid? Trust me, good advisors have thought about that ahead of time and have put plans in place, even if it may not happen. Again, the idea, the more questions like this you ask, the more you're able to judge whether this advisor is serious about helping their clients achieve their financial goals. Question 7, ask your advisor about anything you did not understand in the meeting. As a financial advisor, my main goal is to advise my client. And I can only do that if I clearly explain to them all of the processes and terms and theories and strategies involved with investment and financial plans. So if anything isn't clear during that meeting, it's up to the advisor to be clearer so that you understand everything. So don't be afraid. Don't think you're wasting their time. Don't think you want to wrap up the meeting too quickly. Make sure to circle back, go over anything that didn't sound clear to you or where you need further details. If an advisor wants to take you on as a client, they should be ready to answer all of your questions, even the same questions multiple times, if it takes that long for you to understand a concept. The thing clients don't always realize is this meeting is your time. It's up to you to try to determine whether this advisor is good for you. So ask as many questions as it takes for you to make that decision. It's a very important decision. If you're confused about any terms I use or anything I said, don't worry. My goal on this channel will be to explain and demystify all of the financial terms that we're dealing with on a daily basis. If you have particular questions, well, ask me in the comment. Ask me 7 questions. I'm not shy about answering them. To be upfront, I am licensed to practice in Canada, so I can answer any questions that have to do with Canadian markets and investments and accounts that are available to you. I obviously have a working knowledge of investment markets elsewhere, like the US or the rest of the world. I'll be happy to take some questions about that, but there's obviously particularities I might not be familiar with. If you want to see more content like this, subscribe to my channel. Thanks, and see you next time.